Okay, hello. Well, this is Two Legs Better, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to switch gear a little bit. I want to talk about coaching. I myself have been a college teacher for many years, and mainly in business schools to teach the young and aspiring students. And I also coach badminton, but not as much as I hoped. And now I have, I decided to bring up coaching again. I want to go out and coach people, and but that's just kind of a brief background. I want to what I want to emphasize is my years of learning with years of experience with coaching. Coaching is so much deeper than I thought. Really, when I started, I was like, okay, I have the knowledge, I have the skill, I'm better than everybody, so I can teach, right? People will listen to me and they will improve because it's for their own good anyway, right? It's for your own good. It's a great argument. But then soon I realized it's not the case because for most people, they do not have the ability to be coached. That's the thing. There is a word called coachable. If you watch any sports, if you watch American football, you will hear sometimes people talk about some people that are coachable, or that's for a very long time I couldn't understand what it means, but now it's like the first thing you have to look at it. For most people, your life can be drastically improved if you are coachable. So what do I mean by that? I This is a live stream, and it's not really. I have a general thoughts of what kind of things I want to talk about, but so I'll talk about my experience and in sports and in teaching, and also by interacting with my son. So there will be a lot of things to talk about. Well, maybe not a lot, but I'll talk about things mostly about coaching and some general principles. Um, so I guess it's I want it to be more like a conversation, um, but I still I'm trying to figure out how to interact with people on this on OBS now. So I'm not sure I can see anybody. I don't have any fans anyway. So um, if you yeah um, but anyway, I'll just keep talking you know like anybody is listening, I suppose. But anyway, if you happen to be tuning in and you have any thoughts, reactions, or questions, you can pop it up here, and maybe I'll answer now, or maybe I'll answer later. Yeah, I put the chat out, so now I can see the chat now. Anyway, so I want to to me, why coaching? Why I want to be a coach? It's you could say for the longest time I was thinking, this is ego talking because I think I'm better than other people, so I come out and teach. That's not really it. I mean, it is it, but it's not just it, because when I like that, I'm like, people don't really need that, and I don't need to, I play badminton myself, I can get enough satisfaction from that, so I don't really need to go out and way to tell people. What I really have is like the kind of the savior complex, because I see something better. I hope everybody has it. It's a disease. I know it's really a disease. You want the world to be a better place. That's really a disease because other people don't see it that way. And you may say, okay, what makes you think what's better? Well, sometimes you look at the results, and I'm a scientist, so I rely on evidence. So the things I do, things I say are based on evidence. The thing about coaching is this: a lot of people expect coaches to come out and tell you something that is not there, something that they couldn't see, something that's so outrageous, like you have a keen eye, you have a great eye. That's not what coaching is. Real coaching tells you what is right. It could be as mundane of anything. It tells you what is right. And how do you know that something is right? You based on evidence. That's the only thing you know. And when evidence changes, things change. And and another, so that's kind of my principle. The things I do, this is how you can distinguish great coaches from not so great ones. You ask them questions. Ask what, ask why. See if they can explain to you. For, say, football, I know the story between Caleb Downs and Jim Knowles. Caleb Downs asked a lot of questions to Jim Knowles. What happens if this? What happens that? How you do tackle like this? Jim Knowles has all the questions. That's a great coach. And for me, my coach back in Hong Kong was great. He what makes him great is he explained it to me. Based on what? Well, based on first physics. We are playing this shuttlecock. What is like, how it flies, how it reacts, and then how we manipulate that. We use the racket. So you understand what the racket is, the balance, the tension and stuff, and then you understand how that hit the shuttlecock, and that will change the trajectory of the shuttlecock, and that's physics. But that's not all, because you also need to understand your body. You understand the physiology of your body, and then the movement, and then deeper than that, you understand the muscles, you understand injuries, everything. So all of these have to be grounded on reality. What is reality? That's physics, that's physiology, that's mature world. It's not what you think, it's what it is. So that's why he's a great coach, and that's the kind of coach I want to be. So I don't want to just tell you, do this, do that. No, that's not the way I want to coach. I want to tell you what's going to happen if you do this, what's going to happen if you do that. So that's the general kind of approach for that. And I also want to do life coaching for high level managers, if you are a CEO, because my specialty is in decision making and negotiation. So decision making is how you make better decisions based on what you have, your information, and overcome your personal biases and stuff. And negotiation is about interaction. Those are very important skills. So if anybody has interest in that, I would love to talk more about that. I think I will talk more about that on this channel in the future as well. So that's about coaching. But kind of back to badminton. What about badminton? What makes me think? What motivates me to do badminton? Recently, today is January 24th. And last month was December. December 25th is Christmas, and then January 1st, that's New Year. That's the holiday season. Here's the problem with holiday season. When you go to a holiday season, your life routine is interrupted. Say, if you are avid badminton player, amateur player, you love play badminton. What do? You play every week, maybe more than once, maybe twice or 3 times every week. And then what's gonna happen? You're gonna have a 2 weeks during Christmas and New Year's, like generally 2 weeks with no exercise, and lots of party, lots of meeting people, lots of drinking, lots of eating, mostly eating. So you're gonna gain weight. You're gonna gain a few pounds of weight, and your body muscle is relaxed and it's not up to date. And then you come back to the badminton court. What's going to happen? Injuries. Okay. So that's the number one thing. It's kind of heartbreaking to me when I see people get injured. Some injuries are kind of almost unavoidable because it's sports, so people get injured. But some of them are absolutely avoidable. Okay, I I posted I posted some video on badminton grips. Badminton grips. I said you should hold for the forehand. You should hold it this way because of the way you generate force. Why is that so critical? When I first started playing badminton, my grip wasn't right. My grip was I just it wasn't right because it's like this. Can you see that? Yeah, it's like this. Why this is wrong? Because you think about how you hit. When you hit like this, what does it do? It kind of bends back over to your wrist. It hurts your wrist, and also your the back the your wrist is twisted in a awkward, very awkward angle. So the correct way is you hold it this way. See, that's when you smash it. So when you hit the shuttle, it won't put too much pressure on your wrist. Actually, it doesn't put any pressure on your wrist at all. If you play badminton afterwards, your wrist hurts, you're doing something wrong. You're definitely doing something wrong. Okay, and if your arm muscles hurt, if your arm muscles, especially your forearm muscles hurt, you're doing something wrong. What did you do wrong? It's most likely your motion is not complete. After you hit the shuttle, your body should go forward towards where the shuttle is going, where you hit that, and then your arm should go forward and let your body ease into that. And without that, most people don't. Most people, they just hit it at the original position. You hit the shuttle, you stay in that position, and you want to get ready for the next one. You need to stop the moving of your racket. So it's basically you hit it and then it stops here. It stops here, you need a force. That's when you need the muscle to stop the force. But the correct way is you let it go, you keep it moving, and then follow that. So these are little things, okay? And the movement also causes injuries. The wrong movement can create ankle injuries and muscle injuries, knee injuries, lots of injuries there. So injuries are the number one concern for me. If you are a regular badminton player, you need to learn. You really need a coach. Even if you are good, you still need a coach. Because there's so many things goes into that, and injury is you have a good coach, it can help you prevent the injuries. Another thing about injury is about the warm-ups. The warm-ups or stretches. The general principle is before the game you should warm up, not stretch. After the game you stretch, but not everybody follows that. And there are lots of scientific evidence related to that, but not everybody knows about it. So these are the little things. So injury is the number one concern. The number one concern that I decided to do coaching. So I want to help more people, but we'll see. And that's my motivation, but that's not the barriers for you. If you see the title is the barriers for people to improve. So I want to tell you a few stories, myself and others. It's so the number one barrier is your mind. The number one barrier is your mind. What do I mean by that? Your mind is almost the main thing, your number one enemy from a better life. From years ago, I did a research at Ohio State with my professors. So the research was trying to find out what makes people learn more in alternative learning mode. So it's basically comparing face-to-face versus online learning. what's the number one thing that we find out that's related to the result, to the learning, to the effectiveness of learning, is the willingness to learn and the effective learning. So basically, the people who learn better are the ones they want to learn. They want to learn over the internet. So, and also the people who believe they can learn over the internet. So that tells you the mind, it helps a lot. If you are into that, that's a lot. And when I was operating my company in China, it's a coaching company, basically a teaching coaching company. I teach a lot of people. When people get older, um, you know, especially kind of in China. In China, if you're a student, if you are officially a student, you have the student hat on, and it's okay to listen to your teacher. So in a way, at least on the surface, right? You never know. And but for these students, some of them are MBA students and EMBA students. They are older and they are successful. Successful people have egos. The ego is your number one enemy in life, because you can have self-respect, but that's different from ego. Self-respect is you know who you are even when you are wrong. Because we are all wrong sometimes, okay? But ego is something that cannot be challenged. If somebody challenges your ego, you have to defend it. That's when it goes wrong. And most people have egos, not respect, not self-respect. Their self-respect is so fragile, they can't tolerate when people tell them the little things. It's just a, it's like when you play badminton. When you play badminton, it's it's a um, it's even difficult to tell people their judgment is wrong. You know, sometimes the shuttle is clearly going out, and you tell them, oh, they made a mistake, and they still play the shuttle. It hurts. It hurts. They are defensive. They don't like it. Why? Because it hurts their ego, especially in front of people. So you tell me I'm wrong. Are you saying you're better than me? Huh? You're better than me? Well, maybe, maybe not. But in this case, I am, because I saw that you didn't. And next play, maybe I made a mistake and it's out. So it's. But most people don't think of that way. Most people just block out all these things, and so that's not an open mind. So without open mind, you cannot learn. You cannot learn. And the problem about brain, about we all think in our brain, is that we never knew we are wrong. It makes sense, right? If you knew you were wrong, you wouldn't do it, right? You do it because you think it's right. So when other people come out and tell you that you're wrong, it hurts. It really hurts. So, and that is the thing. That's about coaching. Coaching is this. Everybody needs coaching. Even the world level athletes, the best ones in the world, they need coaching. Why? Because you can't see yourself. You can't see yourself. When you play the best you can, but you can't see yourself. And a coach, another pair of eyes, can see that for you, and they can maybe point out, maybe not, but they can help you to train to improve on that. So, so my lifelong lesson about coaching is probably this: is how you balance from that. Um, I'm not sure I'm a well. I think my coach back in Hong Kong, he did it. He's really great at that. He's less chatty than I am. I'm too chatty. I talk too much. I try to explain to people, and I think they can. I thought they can understand. I ignore the fact. Not ignore. Yeah, ignore, because I knew it, but I still ignore that. Is that a lot of people don't really have the capacity to understand certain things, even if they are smart. sometimes because it goes with territory. If you are, it's called scaffolding in psychology. That means that I give you one more step, but I cannot give you a step at the 10th stories and expect you to climb up when you are at the third story. You know, when you are at the third stories, I have to give you one more step to help you go to the fourth one, and then help you go to the fifth one, and then eventually you can get to 10. But the thing is, if I see 10, you see 3, it's hard to communicate. That's what great coaches can do. Great coaches can build you up, step by step, and until you reach that goal. Um, yeah, I have to admit I am that way myself. Um, I my coach was great, so I was uh, I was open minded, but I was still kind of arrogant. I thought, how hard it could be, just play badminton. No, it's much, much more difficult because there are so many small things, so many difficulties in that. It's, it's also the same as when I teach negotiation. How difficult could it be? You just tell them what you want and ask what they want. No, 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 it's more than that. You have aspirations, you have bottom lines, you have alternatives, and you have best alternatives, and you have emotions, you have a relationship. There are so many things to consider, and how you communicate, how you frame, how you propose, and how you counter propose. Should you be tough? Should you be soft? And when should be tough? When should be soft? And should you be rational? Should you be relational? There are just so many considerations. But that's to me because I'm an expert on that. So when I see something, I see all the little details. But it's difficult to explain to people, especially for people who are very far away from you in those mindset. So how you explain that? That's the art of coaching, the art of coach and protege relationships. You gotta have trust. You gotta have a bond, and then over time, the knowledge can be transferred to the from coach to the protege. So that's my random thought of the day on coaching and and issues like that. So I hope you enjoy this talk, and please subscribe and come back later, and I will post um, more content on relevant issues. So this is Two Legs Better, and enjoy your day.